I know I'll be A-okay. I also want to read. Oh, it's food time for my dog. He's about to come in and eat. Oh, he heard it. Here he comes. I know I'll be A-okay. Damn, Denny, that thing gives you a lot. You acting like you're starving all the time. Hey! Hey! Hello, my bookish friends. Welcome or welcome back. I'm Elizabeth, and this is Reading Riley, where we like to read Riley, not take ourselves too seriously, and have some fun with books. And today we're doing our, what are we doing? October TBR.
Funky.
I feel a lot of pressure for October because it's spooky season. I feel like I needed to put a list of books together to read in October that are a little bit spookier. I pretty much read for spooky season every month, but you know, I wanted to make sure I paid special attention to what I'm reading this month, basically. Really quickly, before we get into the books, if you are new here and you like to talk about some dark stuff, speculative fiction, some romance, some sci-fi, some fantasy, and you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you did. It helps me out so much, and I have the content coming. So I would love to see you back here. Also, if you want to check out down below in the description box, I have a whole bunch of information, all of my social media stuff, how to support my channel, resource links, things like that. And now let's get into the books. First of all, off the bat, I want to tell you, I do have a secret TBR happening this month that I'm not going to tell you about. So that just adds on to this enormous pile. I am being exceptionally optimistic with this pile of books, and disclaimer, as for all of my TBRs, these are things that I am feeling like reading in the moment, not necessarily things that I will absolutely read, so don't take my word for it. Basically, these are all books that I want to read and I will read eventually. Anyway, it's gonna be a good reading month one way or the other. I just know it. So let's get into the books. The first one I want to talk about is The Good Daughter by Karin Slaughter. This book is the next Karin Slaughter that I am looking forward to getting into. It's a long one. I think it's like 500 pages. So this one is, whew, it's a little bit intimidating. That's why it's been sitting on my shelf for so long. And honestly, the description of the book doesn't give me too much, except I know that it's a dual timeline. We're following this family. You have two sisters, Charlotte and Samantha, and 28 years ago in this small town, I believe, there was a devastating attack on their family that killed their mother. Absolutely devastated their father, who is this like famous defense attorney in their town, I guess. And then 28 years later, in present day, Charlotte is now following in her father's footsteps, and she is an attorney of her own. And then some kind of attack to this town comes again, traumatizes everyone. It's somehow connected to the death of her mother, I think, and Charlotte is the first on the scene to witness whatever it is has happened, and she has to put all of the threads together. So again, we have sisters from Karin Slaughter. We have dual timeline, which I always love, the kind of having connections between the past and present. So I'm really excited to get to this. Let's look at the first line. Thursday, March 16th, 1989, what happened to Samantha? Samantha Quinn felt the stinging of 1,000 hornets inside her legs as she ran down the long, forlorn driveway toward the farmhouse. Is this a My Girl situation? Thomas! No, Thomas, not the bees. Prepare to be devastated. Next. Oh, so the next one I want to read is The Sun Down Motel by Simone St. James. This one I have been recommended by some of y'all, and also told that this is like a dual timeline, really fun, spooky one. I don't know if this is paranormal or not, but I think it's one of those where you're like, is it or is it not paranormal? So again, in the 1980s in upstate New York, you have Viv Delaney. She is the night clerk at the Sun Down Motel. She's trying to save her money to move to New York City, but she's in Fell, New York, which is kind of like upstate. Something weird's going on at night. There's locked doors that swing open. There's creepy phone calls and hang-ups and things like that, and she's alone by herself. And apparently Viv goes missing, and then we flash forward to 35 years later, where we're following Kelly Kirk, who is Vivian's niece. Viv died or missing before she was even born, and so she's determined to figure out what happened. So she goes to Fell, New York, she goes to work at the Sun Down Motel, she follows in her aunt's footsteps to figure out what the hell happened. Whatever series of events happened to her aunt is now happening again, and she has to stop it before she disappears as well. I don't know if it's paranormal, I don't know if it's just like a human monster, and I don't know which is scarier. So it sounds really good, moody, spooky for October. Very excited to get into it. The first line is, "The night it all ended, Vivian was alone." Oh, and Simone St. James dedicates this novel. It says, "For the odd girls, the nerdy girls, and the murderinos, this one is yours!" Hell yeah! Get it, girl. I appreciate that. All right, the next book I want to read this month is Baby Teeth by Zoje Stage. This one I've heard about for a long time. I've been really into wanting to find more books about psychopath children because I'm terrified of that. Like, just scares me. Being a stepmom, I understand that now, having experienced it, that kids go through phases, but when you're in the phase, before you're outside of that, you're like, oh no, I'm raising an asshole. And it's so hard to to understand in the moment that this is a phase until you get past it. That fear, that twinge of fear, where you're just like, is this kid a psychopath or something? Not that my stepdaughter is amazing, but I feel like this is something that all parents think from time to time. Maybe I'm just like, my head is just dark. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so this story is about this family. Hannah is the daughter, and she's daddy's girl. She just wants to live out her life in happiness with her daddy, but there is one thing standing in her way, and that is her mother, Suzette. Apparently, Hannah has been kicked out of several schools, and so now she has to be homeschooled by Suzette. Suzette sees these little tricks that she's playing. She sees the manipulation that's happening, but Dad doesn't see these things. She's daddy's angel around daddy. Suzette is starting to become concerned, so she takes her to get tested. I know we have a perspective that's third person from Hannah. That's how it starts because of the first line. I don't know if we also get Suzette's POV. I think Hannah's wrongdoing is going to escalate. Her tricks and manipulation are going to escalate, and I'm excited to see what happens there. The first line of the story is, maybe the machine could see the words she never spoke. Maybe they blazed in her bones. What is the machine? What are they testing her on? I want to know. Very intrigued. The next book that I want to read this month is The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum. I really don't know much about this except for the fact that it is based on a true life story, so that's terrifying in and of itself. I've heard really good things about this book, and it is blurbed by Stephen King. So it says, The Girl Next Door, it does not just promise terror, but it actually delivers. And who can you believe if you cannot believe the king? What is this about? I know we have two sisters, I think two sisters, that are being controlled, being manipulated, being possibly tortured by their distant aunt who is slowly falling into madness. And I think the aunt has 3 sons, and I think she may be using them as her medium to torture these girls, potentially grooming them into her way of thinking. That's all I know. It's called The Girl Next Door, so I'm assuming there's somebody next door that figures this out. It should be interesting. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. I have the audiobook as well, so I'll probably read and listen at the same time. Same with The Good Daughter. Oh, let's look at the first slide. Chapter 1, You Think You Know About Pain? I think I know about pain. Maybe not. What this girl goes through. It's dark. It's spooky. What is next? Oh, okay, I don't have a copy of this one. I also want to read When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen. This is also a dual timeline. We're following Mira. She's a Black woman. She's returning to her hometown in the South for a plantation wedding. The bride, Celine, was one of her best friends as a kid. Celine was teased in the town for being the only white girl that hung out with Black kids. We have this friendship between them two, and we also have another player from their past named Jessie. There was some kind of trick or prank that went wrong in their past, and Jessie was almost framed accidentally for murder or for something, but Mira actually is in love with them and hasn't told them. So these 3 friends have some kind of stuff in their past that needs to be addressed at this wedding. But meanwhile, at this plantation wedding, things are really weird because they're serving antebellum drinks. The entertainment is reenactments. Most of the staff are Black. Most of the guests are white. Mira Sara coming into this is like, what's going on? And also, apparently this plantation has this really dark history of abuse. Some real messed up things happened there to the Black people who were slaves in the past. It's supposed to be haunted by these people who want revenge. Stuff goes wrong. Obviously, it's not gonna go right. This is not a good setup for things just going nice. First of all, why would you serve antebellum drinks at your plantation wedding? I don't understand, as a white girl who grew up with Black friends, how she would be in the headspace to be like,
hey, let's have a slavery-themed wedding.
Why would you do that to begin with? I don't know. I think shit's gonna come back to bite them in the ass, and I think it's gonna be awesome. And the first line for that is, what will you do on the day of reckoning when disaster comes? The day of reckoning. I can't wait. It sounds really good. The next one I want to read this month is actually a buddy read with Beth. Well, it's not a buddy read. It's a book club read. It's a book club read for Beth's channel at BethsAllBooked. If any of my subscribers don't know about her channel yet, go check it out. I will link it down below. She reads a lot of thrillers and she likes dark, disturbing stuff like I do. So anyway, we're reading The Patient. It's by Jasper Dewitt. This book is described to be like The Silent Patient by way of Stephen King. Just that alone, I'm already interested. I'm already hooked. It's gonna be dark. It's gonna be twisty. I can't have you tip-tapping, sir. I can't have it. I will not have it. No, come up here. Come on, you chill out. Okay, so the way this book is written, it's supposed to be a manuscript written by our main character, Parker, who is posting this to like a message board to record his experience with this patient. This patient is 40 years old. He's been there since he was 6, and it seems like every therapist or psychiatrist or psychologist who tries to treat him ends up basically losing their minds and or dying by suicide. So it's like, what is going on with this patient that he's affecting these people in this way mentally, how he can like get into their brains? Is it supernatural? Is it not? Parker, he's this really young, overly confident psychiatrist. He's new at his job at this asylum. And he's like, I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna show you guys that all of these other psychiatrists that dealt with him just don't know what they're doing. He's a cocky motherfucker. He's coming in. He's gonna be like, oh, I will save the day. I will cure this patient. But then obviously stuff goes differently than he imagined it would go. It says he's forced to question everything he thought he knew. It also says this is for fans of Behind Her Eyes and Cabin at the Edge of the World. I've started, but I've not finished Cabin at the End of the World, so I can't draw that comparison, but from the comparison of Behind Her Eyes, it makes me think there's some kind of paranormal element here. First line's interesting because it's like part of this manuscript, and there's this epilogue where it talks about how this is a manuscript posted on a message board, but I think the first actual line is posted March 13th, 2008. It says, I wrote this because as of now, I am not sure if I am privy to a terrible secret or if I myself am insane. Great first line. Great first line. Can't wait to read that. And it's a really short book. I don't know how long the actual book is, but the audiobook is 4 hours and 20 minutes. So it should be a quick read. The next book I want to read this month is The Man Who Died Twice by Richard Osman. This is definitely my lightest pick for this month. I read, where is it? I read The Thursday Murder Club this year and absolutely loved this one. I guess it is more of a cozy mystery, but it's so hilarious. I laughed out loud the entire time. We're following this group of 70 and 80 somethings in this retirement village. They have a Thursday night murder club. Every Thursday night they get together, they try to solve cold cases. They have some wine, they talk shit, they're witty, their banter is amazing. This one follows a case that happens around their retirement villa. They get sucked into it. This next one, we're following the same people. It's literally the next Thursday after this book ends. Elizabeth, who's one of our main characters, she gets a note from somebody in her past saying that they got caught up in something they shouldn't have and that they're in danger. It has something to do with some missing diamonds, the mob, and he feels like his life is being threatened and he asks for her help. And so they get on the case, they get involved in this, see if they can solve the mystery without getting killed themselves and potentially end up with a bunch of diamonds at the end as well. So sounds good. I cannot wait for this one. It's gonna be, I know it's just gonna be hilarious and lighthearted, but also a fun little mystery. Oh, let's see what the first line is. Part 1, your friends are sure to visit. The following Thursday, I was talking to a woman in Ruskin Court, and she said she's on a diet, says Joyce, finishing her glass of wine. She's 82! I feel you, Joyce. Why? Don't diet at 82. Live your life. Like, just live your best life. Why? You don't need to diet. The next book, oh, here it is. This one I've showed you before in a TBR, I think, and I didn't actually get to it. But I really want to get to it. I think it's going to be perfect for October. The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig. I'm really excited for this. This is another dual timeline as far as I know. Nathan and Maddie. They both grew up in the same small town. Nathan lived in this small house with his abusive father. Maddie was sitting alone making dolls when she saw something she should not have seen. There's something really sinister, potentially paranormal, that's lurking around this town. Supposedly stalks through the old coal mines in Pennsylvania where they're at. In present day, Nathan and Maddie are married and they have a son, Oliver. For some reason, they decide to move back to this town because some traumatic shit happened when they were kids, and they were like, you know what? I want to live there. Yeah, why did I leave that place? Oh, the memories. Let's move back. Okay, Nathan. All right, Maddie, let's do it. Great idea. So they move back to this town with their son, and Oliver meets this boy who he's like really getting along with. They become besties, but his new best friend is kind of strange. He's very quiet, and he has some kind of interest in dark magic. And then all of the same things that happened to his parents when they were younger start happening again to Oliver, and it becomes this whole battle of good and evil, poltergeist-esque type craziness. Apparently, they have to like end up saving the damn world. How does this escalate so quickly? I don't understand what this is. It's gonna be some kind of demon or ghost or satanic or something really creepy like that, so I'm excited about it. The ultimate question is, when they are faced with evil, can love save the day? Yes, it can! Yes, it can! And it will, god damn it, if I have anything to say about it. Let's read the first line from this book. What is the first line? His dedication says, hell with it. This one's for me. You go, Chucky. You go, Glen Coco. Oh yeah, there's 2 prologues in this. See, I never know if I should read the prologue or the actual first chapter. Let's skip the prologues. Let's read part 1, a $1 deal with the dying. First sentence is, the Darmine disaster at Van Meter Rostraver Township, Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania. Christopher Burt. Let me try that again. The Darmine disaster at Van Meter, Rostravar Township, Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, near Smithton, Jesus Christ, killed 239 men and boys on December 19th, 1907. Okay. All right, so this is the coal mine situation. 239 boys and men were killed in 1907. Okay, I like that. I like it a lot. All right, let's move on. My leg's falling asleep. That's what I get for sitting on the floor. I'm too old for this shit. Okay, sorry, I had to find my other SD card. How did I just look right at something and not see it? That's more of a philosophical question, but I found it eventually. What the hell was I talking about? So the next book I want to read this month is The House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. This is another one that Stephen King has a lot of good things to say about, so I'm actually really excited for this one, but the description is so vague. I have no idea what this book is actually about. It's so freaking weird. It says, a serial killer, a stolen child, revenge, and death. It's this ordinary house at the end of Needless Street, and there's a man named Ted who lives there, and he's some kind of recluse, and that's all I know, really. It says, in the house lies something buried, but it's not what you think. And it says it's for fans of Gone Girl and The Haunting of Hill House. So, I mean, honestly, I didn't love the book, The Haunting of Hill House. A Gone Girl is one of my, I stan Gone Girl. I stan Gillian Flynn all day, every day. The first line of this, again, this is one with some, I think it had an epilogue, so I couldn't decide what line to do, but I think the first chapter starts with, today is the anniversary of Little Girl with Popsicle. What could that mean? It's obviously a title of something. Either maybe like a newspaper title, a picture title, maybe it's a little girl that died. I don't know. I don't know what this book is about, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm excited to read it. It's the only one I don't actually have yet, and I have like a 18-week hold at the library, so I might actually have to buy it, but we'll see. The last one I'm gonna put on this list, because it's already overwhelming, is a novella from 2003 called Come Closer by Sara Gran. I don't know how I came across this one. It wasn't on BookTube. I think I saw it on Goodreads somewhere or something. We're following Amanda. She's a successful architect with a loving husband and a lovely home life in general. She's got her shit together. She's on top of the world. She is like, damn, I got this, boss, girl boss all day. Then she starts acting uncharacteristically out of the blue. She starts leaving really inappropriate notes for her boss, making like sexual advances. She starts shoplifting. She starts making these really impulsive acts of cruelty against other people, and it's just not in her character. And at the same time, she's having these dreams about this woman, and it seems really realistic and lifelike. And I think we're supposed to wonder if she is suffering with some kind of mental illness or if she is being possessed. I think this might be a possession novella. I don't know. It sounds perfect for Halloween. So, and it's a novella towards the end of the month. I think it's Gabby. Is it Gabby Reads? I think it's Gabby that's doing the weekend long Halloween readathon, so I'll probably save it for that because it'll be nice and short and quick. And the audiobook is less than 4 hours, and the first line is, in January I had a proposal due for my boss, Leon Fields, on a new project. Kind of a lame first line, I'm not gonna lie. That's it. Those are the books that I want to read in October. Will I get to them? Hopefully, but I'm excited for every single one of these books, so I think it's gonna be a fun month. I'm really excited for it. I'd like to know what you all are reading in October. October is the best month for our kind of stuff, for our spooky stuff, for the fun, dark stuff. I could have gone a little more paranormal, but what I'm feeling right now is just that kind of like dark, disturbing fuckery. So that's what's happening. I think that's it. As always, if you're still watching, you're the bomb. I just aged myself. Woo! Okay, I love you. I love you. I'm gonna go, but don't forget that life is short, so read Riley. Cheers and goodbye.